on location. This is Jerry Only of the Misfits here on Artist Connection. We were a garage band. We had a machine shop and built most of our stuff there. New York scene was a bunch full of junkies. They're all dead now. And, we were about the only people out there that were really hitting it hard that weren't shooting dope. So, it was a hard scene. A lot of kids went down. Sid Vicious one of them. And, we held our own, and we still keep it going today. I think relativity is based on subject matter. I think that there are certain subjects that manage to stand the test of time. Obviously, science fiction and the things that we brush upon is probably one of those things. First film ever made was by Thomas Edison, was Frankenstein. And then, if you look at the Phantom of the Opera, black and white, early 1900s, still holds its own. And Misfits is the same thing. Songs that we did back in the late 70s are still relative today. I mean, all the big guys cover our stuff, and I still think we got the best stuff that we're going to do is still ahead of us. A lot of people don't realize, but music regenerates itself. It seems to be like a 20-year cycle where things come back at you. In 1950s, rock and roll was created, and it was taken from the blues guys down south. Guys like Elvis personified it, but they didn't actually create it. A lot of people think rock and roll is also, or even punk, came from England. England is always trailing us, whether they like to admit it or not. So what happens is that in the 1950s, rock and roll doo-wop, Chuck Berry, things like this, created rock and roll. And in the 70s, it got more, I would say, more corporate and elaborate. The guitar player became more predominant. And we had a lot of these glam hair bands and stuff like that. And then the Ramones came back and washed it all down. They came back and came with a three-chord bar songs, basically bringing back rock and roll. But when they brought it back, and it was all atomic, let us say. It was a little bit more rowdy, a little bit more crazy. And the Ramones recreated rock and roll in the mid 1970s. We came in right after them, and what we did was we added a little different spin on it. First thing I think that really created our sound was dropping down a note. We detuned. We dropped down from an E to a D sharp. We did that probably before anybody. Typo Negative came along later and dropped it another note, and I think that now they added another string, just to get even lower. So the Misfits basically started that downward spiral, and we were a little bit darker than the Ramones. We had a different image. We used to, we were probably one of the first guys out there swearing. Is this, can I speak on this station? Okay. We had songs like Attitude, You Got Some Fucking Attitude, and things along these lines. And today the rappers, they got they swear so much that we've actually cut swearing out of our stuff just to be different. So I think that we really pioneered a lot of the rock and roll that you see today. In 1983, when after we had changed drummers, we got Robo from Black Flag when he got stuck in England, and we were hanging out with the guys from Detroit, all the thrash kids, speed metal guys, and we did an album called Earth AD, and Earth AD was basically the speed metal Bible. It is the Rosetta Stone for thrash metal, speed metal, black metal, and it wasn't something that we created, kind of just like Elvis. I mean, he picked up on something else. We took it from the skinhead kids that were skating, and we took it, but we put really great melodies on it. Die, Die, My Darling, Green Hell, things like this. Basically, Metallica picked up on all of that and ran with it. I couldn't tell you how many times I hear, oh, you guys are doing a Metallica song. I say, oh, okay, yeah. So you live and you learn. The thing is that, we stay true to what we do. I was a big fan of David Bowie, and he always kept changing things. And after Ziggy Stardust, I was like, with the rest of this shit, I was like, fuck all this shit. So I said, when I had a band, I wasn't going to do that. So, my pants are older than most of my fans. So I don't know if that brings the scene into light for me. thing is, you have to realize that production and digital world has totally emphasized media as we know it. Records are obsolete, except for vinyl that people collect. Music is relatively free, whether you like to admit it or not. And really what stands out now is visual marketing and product packaging, and I mean, this is where we excel. You know, for us, the future is probably a lot brighter than people, even greater bands that have done great things in the past. You know, the thing is that you don't buy a record today because of the music, you buy it because of what it's wrapped around. And, you know, we've always been guys to create, you know, our records, our original records go for more than Elvis Presley's original records. So, you know, we've always done a very exotic and unique things with our product, you know, action figures that, you know, got awards and stuff like this. And, you know, for the Misfits, there is no limit to where we can go. And for the rock and roll music business as a whole, it has to really recreate itself and adapt. And those who don't really are just going to get washed under. Basically what it is, it's called hooks. What you do is you play a chord progression and you hum something on top of it. And it's, I don't know if you ever saw Eddie and the Cruisers, but it's words and music, and it does this. And basically what happens is you come up with a very simple chord progression, in our case, in our style of music, and then you come up with something that's really catchy over the top vocally. The vocal carries the melody with us. You know, we're not a guitar-based band. Note we play is an X chord. It's not actually a real chord, so it's something we created from space. It's the beginning. We open with Halloween. We're going to be changing that. We got a new album, so that's all about to change. And I don't know. You know, I used to get nervous. You know, I was hanging out with Joey, the drummer from Slipknot, and he was in the Murder Dolls, and they were playing a show, and I went to go see him, and he was getting really nervous, and he was puking before the show, and I said, Joey, so why the hell are you puking? Oh man, I get so nervous. I said, kid, you're in like 3 great bands. You know, you're out there every night. What do you know? Why? You know? So you know, I take it from I watch guys like Peyton Manning and people like this that they just don't crack under pressure. And when I go out there, I always go out there as calm as I possibly can, and then I pull the energy from the people around me, you know. So that's really how we feed the machine. You know, the thing is to keep your head about you, because sometimes if you go out there and things go too crazy, somebody gets hurt right away, and that's really not what we're looking for here. Okay, the origin of the hair, it started in 1978 on a Horror Business record. My hair was blue, and I used to spike it up, and what happened was it started getting longer while I used to go to work, and I didn't really have time to fuck with my hair. So what happened was it started coming down in front of my thing, so I did it like Elvis or Superman with the little curl, and then we switched to black. I was like, you know, we should take out all these pop colors and pop culture shit and get rid of it and go strictly just black, you know, and that's what happened. Dyed it black, and then from there on in, just it found itself. So, from 1978. Have a lot of advice for kids. I started this band when I was a senior in high school. I was going to go play football for Rhode Island, and I blew it off to stay in a band. I always questioned to myself whether I did the right thing or not, and after 4 years went by and we were just putting out a couple of singles out of our garage and not much was going on, I was still working in the machine shop, I realized I could have finished school. And I always wish that I did do that. Not because I want some posh job or with some degree. It was just that it's an achievement. And I think that really college well rounds you. We play a lot of colleges. I see a lot of college kids. My daughter went to Boston. My son went to sound engineering school. And I always felt that you should take your education as far as you can. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I was told that the guys from Queen all went to college. One was a doctor, one was a dentist, one was a lawyer, and they worked on all their Queen's albums while they were in school. And the plan was that if the band didn't work, they had something to fall back on. And Queen wound, if it just, well, it's a brilliant idea. And from what I understand is that most of you people know who Queen is. So I think that the band actually did work. And it was really, in my opinion, a very, very smart move. So I always tell the kids, look, try and go through college and, and vary your degree, have a business side to it too. A lot of people go in for music. Music business is a bullshit business. It always has been. The only worst business is the wrestling business. You know what I mean? They kill each other and they could give a shit. And, the music business is the same way. There's a lot of people in the music business that can't perform and can't sing and can't do stuff, that want to make a living, and they feed off of those who can. And, I was also told that you have to be very smart about your business, okay? You need a really good accountant, you really need a really good lawyer, and you got to protect all your songs and all your, intellectual products is the name of it, okay? Trademarks, songs, lyrics, everything needs to be covered. And it's very simple to do and very, very cheap to do as well, if you know what you're talking about. And the most important thing is that you do that as you go and you don't get stuck in a hole going backwards. There was a band, the Righteous Brothers, did this song called Unchained Melody. It was in Ghost with, what's his name? Patrick Swayze. And supposedly they sold their rights for $50. Okay, so the thing is that you never sell your rights. We started our own label so that other companies wouldn't own our music. I wanted to put out for our albums a couple of different colored vinyl sets of 45s as a package, one every so often during the tour, and then at the end sell them together. And I couldn't do it because I had too much red tape and corporate bullshit. So, now I can change anything I want at any time. If I want to take a song off an album and add another one in, I can do it. So, that's the real power of being knowledgeable and being well educated, is to have the freedom to do what you need to do. And a lot of people don't know that. We've learned the hard way. We got fucked over by everybody, the best in the business. And now we're doing the fucking. So there you go. No, we're cut and dry. We don't drink or party on the road. We get in bed. We've been trying to stay working out. I got my kids working with me now, and they run the show. And I think the main thing is that when you're out on the road and you're playing in a band, the kids are paying damn good money that they struggle to put together to come see you. It is not your time to exploit them. It is their time to exploit you. So you need to really hang in there and do things as to the best of your ability every time. A great new album. We got a song called Dark Shadows that if Tim Burton's movie comes out, hopefully we'll be using that. I think it's probably one of our best work to date. I think that it came really, really well. And we worked with Ed Stasium, who did the Ramones stuff. And Ed does all kinds of great background vocals and guitar parts. And, people don't give him credit for what he's done. If you knew stuff that you've heard before, a lot of it's him. So, I'm very happy to have worked with him. And going to take some time off and spend some time at home with my little girl. So that's about it. I was in Colorado. Yeah. We were out there with the Navajo tribe, and we got one track that we integrated one of their songs on. And, our album starts off with the storm. It's called The Devil's Rain is the name of the album. So it starts off with thunder and all these kind of, sounds from that we actually got from the mountains in Colorado. So this is a very real record, I guess you could say. To everybody, good luck, follow your dreams, but, keep your feet on the ground.